I know.
All yours, Ian.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Columbia Open Space Committee meeting for Thursday, December 18th at 9 a.m. And I'm calling the meeting to order at 9:03. I will entertain a motion. Actually, no, there were no minutes because we canceled the,
Well, there were minutes for the special meeting.
oh, there were, okay. Did you all see those? Yes. We opened the meeting, we went to executive session and closed the meeting. Okay,
And if we didn't have that meeting, then we have to put the minutes from the previous meeting. So if
Oh,
it was
okay.
canceled, we would
I
have.
didn't send those out. Maybe we'll table the whole thing till January. Done. Okay. Audience of citizens, Todd, do you want to say anything?
Good morning. Have a great meeting.
You're looking good, Tom.
Will there be any update from IMBA and Deep today?
An update for when?
For what?
Or anything.
Oh, only if they're on. No, okay, there you go. No, there's no update. Yeah, that unless they chime in later. Okay.
Have you heard anything from Waller or you? That's not in executive session?
No. Well, except about Piet Floral, there's still fundraising. The $250,000 that they didn't have, but she's not worried.
We've done amazing. I wish I was not.
That's a direct quote.
Oh, no problem. It'll come.
Depends on what you do for it.
It-
Like Chucky, would you worry about building?
Yeah.
Once you call Charlie, he will send you the
Okay,
all the world you live in.
and really there's no further communication from IMBO. They're busily working, but nobody's told me anything. Before we go any further, I would like to welcome our newest member, Tom Rath.
Yay.
He's
I think it's about time you got involved in things, because you.
he's been a member of our committee for a long time, but now he's official. So,
Is there anything from?
did you get sworn in?
I did, yesterday morning.
And all the rest of us, in case you don't know, were voted back in. We were approved.
Well, we probably got notified if we moved that. Well, now we're notified, right, boss? Do we still have to get sworn in, or not sworn in, we have to.
I think,
Just to do that.
I think,
You know, in that form that you fill out,
yes,
that you're obligated to fill out, the last question is, what skills do you bring to me? I said, putting up a speed.
I put jack of all trades,
and
master.
they didn't ask you. Yes, I read those. Okay,
So just what I'm thinking, is there anything from Honor in executive session? Our town
No,
manager?
no, substantial. right? We have,
We're
we have,
making process.
yes,
We're making progress.
all we need to say is it's in process. No news.
I want to
Shit, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
no.
a little kid at Christmas and he wants up his presents now.
Yeah.
Well, Paul is our resident. Thank you. You can sit down right now.
Needs to notify Whoville to get ready.
Oh, you've really been around grandkids, haven't
The new Grinch is very popular with my little grandson. It's been revised.
All right, so,
Your Grinch.
I guess I'll have to give the planning and zoning report because we no longer have justice. And I missed Tuesdays. The planning and zoning subcommittee that looks at the regulations and makes recommendations back to planning and zoning as to what regulations need updating and how. They meet randomly at usually 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
When staff can be there.
Yeah. To discuss this, and I didn't get to the one on Tuesday, so I don't know what happened.
Mark, were you there?
Yeah, I know one of the topics was they're talking about modifying setback distances for different applications, but I'm not tuned. But it was a long meeting. I was tied up with some other things, or I would have sat in. So I'm not sure. But I expect to see John in Savannah today, so I could find out.
I assume that if there was a thing that directly impacted open space, they would reach out to us.
No,
No, I would not assume that.
no, I would not.
And actually, while I'll let me just shoot downstairs and see if either of them are in, and I could get you that information.
Okay.
That'd be easier than trying to call her.
I did go to the last one, and they broached the subject of setbacks. And I think they were looking to change the front setback for rear lots. Because they could rationalize the setback for a building on a frontage lot. For instance, snow plowing, or if the road needed to be widened in the future. They wanted to leave that setback. But in a rear lot, you've already got the rear setback from the building in front. And they didn't see the purpose. So we're going to look at reducing that setback.
That's a good idea.
Yes, because that increases the amount of land that you can utilize for.
But as far as you know, they haven't addressed open space set asides yet.
Not up to this point that I know. They do post minutes, so I'll have to.
Okay, Rob, Pine Street Park.
Yeah, Pine Street parking.
You can go park there if you want.
What's that?
It's open to parking. I know number 13 on Pine Street.
Yeah.
Nothing to do that. I know.
Oh, again.
Why doesn't Beth just get the boulders to go down there?
Because no one wants confrontation, basically.
Oh.
Jeez.
Well,
And we do have one person who's just, I mean, he was so bad, he knew allowed the power company to walk back there, they're clearing of the power lines.
Yeah, what happened with that?
They had to walk in from Wellswood. Well, actually, they drove in with their vehicles, but that's a long drive compared to coming from Queen Street. It's like, you know, I mean, it's still a bit come in, but they're carrying equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
But they got back. They, I guess, reopened up the gate so they could drive in.
Yeah, once they got declined from coming in from Pine Street, they, were gonna come in up near Todd's house by the White Loop Trail. And Todd explained to him there was a better option and he reached out to me. And so I met with them and opened up the gates for them. And so they were out there working there yesterday, but it's been going on for a couple of months, a month or more now. They're doing all the infrastructure upgrades on the power lines. So they're doing cutting back brush and clearing, and they actually improved where the airline trail meets the power line on the Mono Pond property, put in more gravel and culverts and stuff.
Yeah.
So the work is a good thing for emergency
Yeah.
and service in the future when the park gets built out. But not being able to come in from Pine Street to use the park or to access the power lines is something that needs to be resolved.
Yes, a lot needs to be resolved there. Is our first selectman aware of this?
He's frustrated as far as I know.
Mhm. Well,
Maybe we should have another.
The problem is that everyone just doesn't know the implications of what's gonna happen. I mean, yes, we think we have the right and we could go there and start doing stuff and then maybe this guy will back off, or maybe he'll call his lawyers and we'll be, you know, lost in cities and all. I don't know. I did everything I could. I've been out of the loop for quite some time at this point. It's in the hands of higher people.
mm, we do need to.
Although I'm on the first selectman, I could bring it up.
One of the things.
You got power. All this power. It's driving me crazy.
One
We'll
of
see. I don't know.
one of the things that I was asked to look at was if Friends of Mono Pond, what kind of recommendations would we make for that corridor for the footpath from the parking lot, whether to plant trees or put in a fence or do something to get the neighbors there to not feel that it was a conflict. So Mark had asked me to put something together. I haven't done that yet.
Okay. These work. Actually, I didn't know. We did talk about the fence. Last I heard it, that Melissa said, yes, I talked about a fence, but I didn't say I was agreed on.
Correct.
That's the last thing.
Okay. Year 3.
Next year, we'll worry about it next year.
You're not a state employee, are you?
We've heard that before.
Oh, yeah, several times. Okay. Anything with the Salmon River partnership?
Salmon River?
Yep.
There was a meeting, very short last night. I don't have anything substantive to talk about. As I mentioned it two months ago, the project that did get it designated as a wild and scenic river has gone nowhere because there's nobody in Washington at the National Park Service
To support it.
They're savvy. And so she makes phone calls and there's no one there to talk to. So they keep putting her off. And Patricia Young is, when I say she, that's Pat Young, who owns this thing.
She kind of works part-time for Salmon River, but she's funded by this Wild and Scenic 8 Mile.
Yes, and she's resigning that post.
So why?
So she'll, for the next year or so, she'll give us full time. And Salmon River. She's kind of she's a tough cook.
Oh, yeah, she is. Well, maybe she'll hound him and get it done.
Yeah, but they don't have much interest in Ronald Park.
Zero.
I keep bringing, he called me his name and Ronald Park.
And you say,
And they say,
who?
where?
What?
And I would never mention them Brookend. I don't, I mean, I could, but they've heard enough about that.
I'll reach out to her and ask her if I can be on her agenda at some point as Friends of Mono Pond.
To educate them as to the importance of being at the head of the watershed.
Well, that'd be cool.
Okay.
That'd be cool. I of course have written,
Oh, I know.
I've written paragraphs about the involvement, but that's one and done, so every time.
Yeah, but when Tom shows up, he brings his
Posters.
luggage, his posters,
Props.
his banner. I mean, he's got a show, and he's got it down pat. It's very polished.
The other piece too that I would ask if I was able to attend would be to talk about the airline trail, because a lot of the Salmon River watershed is along the airline trail.
Absolutely.
So that I talk about both things.
Good work.
Oh, I can give you an update on planning and zoning.
Oh,
They were
yes.
both in. They were working on reducing setback minimums on rear lots from 50 feet to 25 feet to give you more flexibility.
Good.
And they were working on, I guess, signage regs. They're going to consider the new sign at Wiles Hyundai on the corner. It's the scissor lift with a big car on top as a temporary sign. So it's not, they got a violation, but because it can be moved and it's movable, they're not gonna worry about it right now. And that goes for John Scrap Metal. He's got a sign on a truck that he moves around. So movable signs are not as big a deal as a permanent sign. And then,
Unless they never move.
unless they don't move.
They can just move a couple inches every so often.
And then, I forget we also have a new building land use refund policy if you cancel a permit. So we're defining what part of the permit fee is not refundable because we had expenses involved. But we now have a new policy. So you're caught up on the latest planning zone.
And very good. Because it's very important for us to stay in touch with what they're doing. Because in case you haven't noticed, nobody really pays attention to us until we go to a town meeting and ask for large amounts of money. But other than that, nobody really stays in touch with us. But that's, we still have these silos in town. Like economic development doesn't pay attention to us, so let's talk to them. And so I see as my role as chairman to try to keep up with what everyone else is doing. Because one day I learned this on the lake. If somebody's changing regs, it very likely will affect you. And open space may wake up someday and have no income because they changed the reg in planning. So
For the open space setback, set aside.
that
Is that being discussed?
it has been mentioned.
Okay.
And
I haven't
they're
heard it yet.
thinking about doing away with it. But a couple of the people who mentioned that are not on planning and zoning anymore. So you kind of have to pay attention to who's on first and what are they talking.
Okay.
It's
Third base. Third base.
and
Mhm.
so Tom, fill us in on all of your stuff.
Yeah, I'll start with Hop River Trail. So Hop River Trail, they just had, there's a tunnel up at Bolton Notch, and they just finally got that project completed with, which was putting lights in the tunnel.
Yes,
So that was the beginning of December. They're working to connect the Hop River Trail through North Manchester to the Cheney Trail, which then would connect with the Charter Oak Trail. So there'd be like a 17-20 mile loop. So that's moving forward.
and what exactly needs to be completed?
So there's sections where there wasn't really a rail trail as a part of it. Once you get to North Main Street, a lot of that just was like fenced off and stuff. So opening that up again
That's
to the
all?
Cheney Trail. That'd be in Manchester,
Manchester
Yeah.
Main Street.
north end of Manchester.
But you can get all the way from Willimantic to,
The north end of Manchester, and then you're on the roads.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, by their, whatever it is, commercial, the commercial zone, the industrial park, whatever it is out there, north of Manchester. So
Yeah.
that,
I've done that.
all right, the other update, which was, we've been waiting forever for the Kings Road, Flanders Road, behind the main moose to be completed.
Yes.
A few months ago, I was told it would be done at the end of 2026. I'm now told that it's still in permitting and it would be maybe done at the end of 2027. So
That's amazing.
I,
I don't understand permitting.
and I was told that it's a DOT project, not a DEE project because of where it is. So, and it's federal funds. So that's something maybe we need to have more, have our first selectman or town manager or anybody else, Coventry's, ask what's
So
up.
what year are we at now?
December of 2027, so it'll be a while.
I've been here, I'm on my 10th year, and it was supposed to be 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, I know.
I saw a presentation right after I got here. I went, oh, this is great.
Longer ago.
A long time.
And part of that too is right before you cross the river by Mackey's, there had been a parking lot there that got closed down because there was problems with, you know, there were problems there. And so I'd asked a couple of times about reopening it, and they won't reopen it until after this 2027 project is done.
Well, wasn't that a kayak launch there too?
That was a part of the Willimantic River Trail that goes from Stafford, and that was supposed to be a takeout.
Right.
And I'm not sure who, if anybody, is advocating for the Willimantic River Trail anymore. It was a part of the last Green Valley was the ones that worked on that to get that national recognition as a national river trail.
Okay.
The other thing was Hop River Trail was very successful with getting new signage put up on the trail and signage directing you to parking for the trail. The two people that worked on that grant request have now worked with putting a grant request together for the airline trail to do a similar project. So we'll see if that gets awarded or not. So that's one of the Connecticut Rec Trails grants. So that would be for the whole 12 towns. So if that happens, then we might be looking again at having some signage on Route 66 in Columbia pointing people to, like down Pine Street, to the different parking lots for the airline trail. The little pocket Z maps.
Yep.
A couple of the towns didn't participate in that years ago. There's enough money in a grant that exists now to add those towns, so that's being worked on, and I've been working with Lebanon on getting their map up to date, and we did work on updating our map, so that would be out at the Airline State Park Trail Alliance website as downloadable as well as printable later on. Airline Trail, we have a number of events coming up, and one of those that we're working with is the Ride the East event, or the East Coast Greenway. Back in 2024, that event featured Mono Pond State Park. This coming year, it'll be on May 16th, Saturday, May 16th. And the plan is for that to go from the Gilson Square area in Willimantic out to Pomfret and then come back. So featuring another section of the Airline Trail. A part of this whole, so it was earlier this year, we set up the Airline State Park Trail Alliance. So a part of setting that up was having public awareness. So there will be some sort of a press conference in May or June acknowledging that this organization was set up. And then as a part of the June, right now the plan is a part of the June 18th, third Thursday event in Willimantic, that we would have a big presence at that event where each of the towns on the Airline Trail could talk about or have a table about why you would want to ride the Airline Trail and what you would do in their town once you got there. We're also working with the Willimantic Whitewater Group to have more connection with them with the Airline Trail and have them participate in the events. I think that's just about it.
We made, 16, that's the Ride East.
Yep. Yeah, May 16th is the East Coast Greenway Ride the East event.
So it goes Willimantic to Pomfret.
Is the plan right now, Willimantic to Pomfret, yeah.
Mhm.
And back in 2024, because they were featuring Mono Pond, I got involved with helping with the planning. So I've been a part of their planning committee that year, this year, and then the coming year.
Good.
Friends of Mono Pond. I think the biggest thing is recently we were asked by Trust for Public Land to write a letter of support for their grant application for the next wave of grants, which we just submitted this week. And a part of my role with the Airline Trail, Vice President of the Airline Trail, I was asked to also write letters of support for different things. And so we also, the Airline State Park Trail Alliance also wrote a letter of support for Trust for Public Land's next step with the Mono Pond project.
And I believe I included Open Spaces letter of support in email I sent out. So
Yeah, that was a really good letter, but Kathy Austin was at the church breakfast on Saturday, and somehow or another we got around to talking about the Mono Pond grant for invasives, and she said that she would write a letter in support of that grant application. So I'm wondering, do you think she needs to write a letter? Kathy, I'm mentioning Kathy Austin. Do you think we could use a letter from her on this?
Didn't we send her a copy of what we wrote? Was that a different grant?
So the Friends of Mono Pond submitted the grant request December 10th, I believe it was. I don't know that those grants are different than the Rec Trails grants. So what I was told was,
Yeah, I think Paul requested one.
what I was told was the grants for the invasive aquatics are supposed to be redacted so that people don't know that they're just on the basis of the actual request you write. So I don't know that it would hurt or help to have her write something, but.
Well, I mean on this. I mean, do you think?
I'm in support of the
Trails.
Trails grant.
Oh, yeah, I would think, yes, I would think that would be, yeah,
Right?
yep.
Would you
Yeah,
ask her?
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
Good work. See, Paul's always working too. Okay. And so did you guys have a chance to read that letter of support? Yeah. Tom and I were sent like a form letter that, who wrote that? TPL?
Yep.
Yeah, TPL wrote it. And then we just got paste and
Come out good.
Yeah, that's good.
tuned. So that's why it's such a good letter.
So
We didn't really write it. We just tweaked it.
the one thing I don't think I mentioned was that yesterday was the Town of Columbia Traffic Safety Committee meeting.
Did you?
And I had asked to be put on their agenda to talk about some of our concerns from Friends of Montauk Pond. And so I did have the opportunity to talk about, we had done the town had done a study on traffic on Wellswood this summer. And, you know, it captured the volume of traffic and the speed.
Mhm.
So there is definitely right now, having nothing to do with Montauk Pond, there is a concern with excessive speeds on Wellswood. I mentioned that I put possible concerns if a large parking lot or parking lots were added to the ends of Wellswood or Lake Ridge Drive, and to be out ahead of it before they're built, to have the Traffic and Safety Committee comment on it if it goes back in the plan. And then I asked for, right now there's one sign on Route 66 westbound directing people down Hunt Road to the boat launch on Mono Pond. And I've asked several times to the state to move the sign to Pine Street. And I wanted to get support from the Traffic and Safety Committee, which it sounded like there was support to move the sign for Mono Pond and add a sign potentially for the airline trail parking from Pine Street, because Pine Street's a much shorter, straighter, better road than Hunt Road. I think that was pretty much what I covered with them. Emergency access. That was the other thing. Was back in 2015, Paula Stahl had made a map of Columbia's potential emergency access to different areas, power lines, discontinued roads, that kind of thing. So I brought that up to if the fire department or anybody else wanted to go out there and look at the current status and make recommendations if they needed any improvements coming in from all these different places into Mono Pond once it gets built out and people start having mountain bike access or whatever else.
It sounds like maybe Harlem can solve some of those issues. They upgrade that road all the way through, right to the middle of the park. That would be a good starting point. Because they could drive down.
If they could get in from Pine Street.
The other thing too is the other thing too is where the power lines cross near the south end of the pond, that's private property. But if a culvert was put in there, that would give them emergency access again from Pine Street potentially along the power line corridor across the culvert and that wetlands. So but that's more or less the fire department emergency management's take a look at it and make requests.
Right. All right. Thank you. I think y'all appreciate the different webs that Tom weaves and brings in. He's connected us to every organization in Eastern Connecticut, which is all good. Yep. Very valuable contribution. Okay, trail maintenance. The trails are looking good.
Some icy spots, so if you could go out and sand those, I'd appreciate it. Or just melt it.
I think tomorrow we'll
I'll
handle
take
it.
care of it tomorrow before you get it. All right.
The other thing I kind of out of sequence a little bit was You were talking about the Camp Laurel
Yeah.
and Trust Public Land Avalonia. So Avalonia reached out to me
Yeah.
last year and they asked me to be on an advisory council with them. So we meet 3 times a year. And they also just had their annual meeting, which I attended. And they're in talks with several other land trusts for merging some of the smaller land trusts. So Colchester Land Trust is one that's considering merging with them. And if that happens, they're targeting sometime middle of 2026 that these mergers would take place.
Hmm. There is a big push from the Connecticut Land Conservation Council to encourage all these little tiny land trusts to merge. And a couple of years ago, Joshua's Trust was really looking at that and made overtures to Granby and Wyndham and, Woodstock. But now the wheel has turned. We have a different board and a different executive director. And now they're not looking at it at all. So I kind of worry about that.
One of the things that Avalonia's way of doing it is, as they absorb these, they're looking to continue as a town committee. So there would be just like a Colchester town committee, so they'd still have some ownership or some responsibilities. They're not just giving up.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yes, and there are so many details to work out that the CLCC is helping to smooth that over. And they have grants for legal fees and things like that. But Joshua's Trust at the moment is sort of stuck. And every time I bring up Model Plant, they go, what? Who? Where? And I go, because ours is a big project.
We just need to change the name of it to a much more attractive.
That's an Indian name it after.
No, Columbia Palm.
Columbia Lake #2. That would be, then the grants would be approved.
And I was talking with Amy Patterson, who is the executive director of the CLCC, and I said, what is it? I cannot attract them, Joshua's Trust, to come out here. And she said, why? This is such a big deal. But they just aren't budgeting. They won't have no part.
Can I bring up one topic again?
Please.
This was brought to me by Economic Development. They haven't even really talked about it yet. But it's a $10,000, up to $10,000 grant possibility through the Eastern Regional Tourism District. Now, the challenge is it's due January 9th, and the requirements, we couldn't be ready this year, but I'm thinking next year. But the question is, can you think of a way to use advertising dollars as a grant to advertise open space in Monopont State Park and all the things you can do in nature in Columbia? Because economically, it'd be the winery or Maine Moose or our auto mile. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I'm not sure, we just, I'd be handing, yeah, he's process, started this.
I did.
Letter to, this process, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't know,
just
but I think
thought it
it's something to think about.
to think about for now.
And then when I saw the date as well, it's, it's Christmas time, no way we're gonna put this together in that short time.
No, not with the requirements on here, which are substantial in justifying and documenting.
In January.
So I just want really the economic engine of Columbia is open space and outdoor rec park and our parks and
The bill. I
And
gave
our
this
disc
letter
golf.
to him.
disc golf.
It's got pushed around, and I gave it to Mark,
But
and we give it back to you.
I cut it out too, but
So contemplate it, that's all, at the moment, if you can think of.
the likely, they will offer it again next year.
And
So
actually,
get moving. And January,
the Quiet Green Valley or whatever they call themselves, they do a lot of marketing. Quiet Corner. Mystic is the biggest economic marketing engine
Yeah.
of Connecticut.
Yes.
They do a lot of advertising,
Mhm.
what you get.
And they include, Mystic Land Trust
Mhm.
has those stuff, yeah. So, yeah. And, if economic development decides to pull this together, Tom probably has most of it done. Yeah. And
We'd have to get some of the local businesses involved too, and then, I don't know. I
well,
think I have to brainstorm. a lot.
yeah, you've got to get local businesses involved, but you also need to find ways to attract businesses with
Yes.
this asset. And produce this. I mean, please just have a really good restaurant. And one or two bed and breakfasts. There's a reason to come here.
Well, coffee's going in across the street, in theory. Coffee and Peronis, something,
Cannolis.
cannolis,
What are you
something.
talking about, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now he's got the trailer down by Trailside Treasures.
Right,
These cannolis.
but he's
moving to
moving.
the center. And he's planning on doing prepared meals. He's not gonna be cooking.
Oh,
He's gonna, his goal is, he'd like to have prepared meals that you can just go and pick up.
and Twin Peaks is,
Yeah.
I
And he's
guess,
gonna use
making
it
an
as a
effort to come back.
refrigeration, Kind of it's a wintering ground for cannolis, because I can't see him sitting out in the cold weather down at that trailer.
He needs heat.
But he's got great coffee, and cannolis are just out of this world, so.
Yeah, I can't wait to try them. I haven't
That's-
stopped in at Trails.
I don't see. I,
And
you need to tell me about
Yeah.
cannolis.
little competition for
My wife was
models.
telling me she would-
Is there any word from our pizza friend? Anything?
No,
No?
Maybe we should put a bank in there.
there's a deed restriction. Can't happen. Banks put that in, when they buy a piece of property, they put a deed restriction, it can't ever be a bank again. Yeah, they don't want competition.
Competition.
I don't know how long that restriction holds, but
Okay, what would it take to turn the gas station into something useful?
it's privately owned, Ian, just stop that.
You talking about the college garage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's his little man cave. He doesn't
works on
want
his antique cars and
to,
everything.
he's in heaven. He's not
Yes,
selling it.
that's his place, but his playroom.
His remote garage.
I don't know.
I did the survey for, I can't remember his name. He's a nice guy. Yeah, he works out of, I think, at least he was going to appeal to his, he works out of his office a lot. He wants that to be his remote office too. I don't know if he did that or not, but he has all his cars in there.
Mhm.
It's ideal for what he wants to do.
Right.
And then the problem, the parking is always a problem there anyways, to do
Right.
anything real.
And it's very probably a brownfield, right?
Could be, yeah.
Don't say that.
It is,
Recorded meeting. Stop.
okay,
Rumors.
We have no idea. It's a rumor.
okay. All right, well, work on it. Okay. New business. Well, we already welcomed Tom and Justin. Rianju resigned, and we thank him very much for being a member.
With Tom officially on now, we might have to go to an hour and a half meeting.
Oh, no.
He's good for a half hour, easy. All by himself.
Friends of Mount Pond right afterwards.
So stay tuned, you can hear the whole show.
That's right, put him last, and then if everybody has to leave, Tom can still hold court.
Go right in, but stop. You get the whole from 10 to 11.
All right. They tell me we need to elect officers. So we need a chairman, a vice chairman.
Chairman. I second. All in favor?
Thank you. Thank you for the vote of confidence.
You're
We
gonna
need
get
a
the,
vice chair. Currently, it's Paul.
I nominate Paul Renz as vice chair.
I'll second.
Okay.
do you accept that nomination, Paul?
Don't even ask.
Of course, I have so much to do that I'll.
Checking.
I'm gonna give you something to do.
I-
I could do
I only get called when you get sick.
Please don't consent.
right. Okay. All in favor? Okay. And secretary,
Chris.
would you like to continue? You do wonderful.
I'm too busy.
I nominate.
He's amazing.
Yes, I will consent.
I found I'm a horrible secretary.
I'm going to Chris House, continue as secretary.
And I'll second that. Do you accept? Okay, all in favor?
We thank you, Chris.
There we go.
Good
All
job.
right. So
Very good.
here we go. Status quo.
Well, it's a good,
Onward.
good group. You deserve to be back. You're willing.
Absolutely.
Incidentally, Mark, you were out of the room. We discussed Pine Street parking and we voted to have you, by the next meeting.
Have something to say?
I move we adjourn at 9:50.
All those in favor?
I
Merry Christmas.